In the heart of London, on a frigid Christmas Eve, lived a man named Ebenezer Scrooge. His name was synonymous with misery, a cold, grasping, and solitary figure. His office was as chilly as his heart, where his clerk, Bob Cratchit, shivered over a single piece of coal. Scrooge counted his money, his face a mask of greed, grumbling, "Bah, humbug." To any mention of Christmas that evening, his cheerful nephew, Fred, invited him to Christmas dinner. Scrooge scoffed. "What right have you to be merry? You're poor enough." He sent Fred away with a sharp dismissal, his heart closed to any warmth. Later, 2 gentlemen came asking for a donation for the poor. Scrooge turned them away harshly, questioning if the prisons and workhouses were no longer in operation. He believed the poor were better off gone, to decrease the surplus population. As the day ended, he begrudgingly gave Bob Cratchit Christmas Day off, but insisted he come in all the earlier the next morning. Scrooge trudged home through the foggy streets, his mind consumed with profits and losses, completely unaware of the spectral journey that awaited him. As he fumbled with the key to his dark, empty house, the door-knocker transformed before his very eyes. It was the face of Jacob Marley, his business partner, dead these 7 years. Scrooge, startled but defiant, dismissed it as a trick of the light and went inside. But the strange visions continued. Marley's face appeared in the tiles of his fireplace, and every bell in the house began to ring, slowly at first, then furiously, culminating in a deafening clash. The cellar door flew open with a boom, and from the darkness emerged a chilling sight. The ghost of Jacob Marley, bound in heavy chains forged from cash boxes, keys, and ledgers, drifted into the room. He explained that these chains were the weight of his own greed and indifference in life, a burden he was doomed to carry for eternity. Marley had come with a warning. He told Scrooge that he still had a chance to escape the same terrible fate. 3 spirits would visit him over the next 3 nights. The first would arrive when the clock struck 1 with that final, ominous warning. Marley's ghost floated backward through the window and vanished into the bleak, phantom-filled night, leaving Scrooge trembling in a state of shock and disbelief. True to Marley's word, as the clock told 1, a strange figure appeared. It was the ghost of Christmas past, a gentle spirit with a bright light emanating from its head. The ghost took Scrooge by the hand and they flew out the window, back through time. They visited Scrooge's lonely childhood at a boarding school, where he was left behind for the holidays. Then they saw a happier time, a joyful Christmas party at old Fezziwig's warehouse, where a young Scrooge was a lively apprentice, full of laughter and dance. He saw himself then, so different from the man he had become. The final vision of the past was the most painful. Saw himself as a young man with his beautiful fiancée, Belle. She was tearfully breaking their engagement, lamenting that her golden idol money had replaced her in his heart. Scrooge watched, his heart aching, as she walked away, leaving him alone with his growing fortune. Overwhelmed with regret, Scrooge begged the spirit to show him no more. He extinguished the spirit's light with its cap, and instantly found himself back in his own bed, sobbing into his pillow as darkness consumed the room once more. He awoke to the sound of a booming laugh. His room had been transformed into a festive grotto, piled high with food and greenery. Seated on a throne of delicacies was a towering, joyful giant, the ghost of Christmas present. This spirit took Scrooge on a journey through the bustling streets of London on Christmas morning. He showed Scrooge people from all walks of life, finding joy and kindness despite their circumstances. They visited the humble home of Bob Cratchit. Though their dinner was small, the house was filled with love and laughter. Scrooge's heart softened as he watched the family, especially the small, frail Tiny Tim, who bravely declared, "God bless us, everyone." The spirit then revealed a grim truth. If the shadows of the future remained unchanged, Tiny Tim would not survive. The ghost used Scrooge's own cruel words against him, asking if it was better for the boy to die and decrease the surplus population. Scrooge was filled with shame. Before departing, the spirit showed Scrooge to wretched children, clinging to his robe's ignorance and want. He warned Scrooge to beware them both, for on their brows was written doom. As the clock struck 12, the jolly giant vanished, leaving Scrooge alone in the street, facing a silent hooded figure. The final visitor was the ghost of Christmas yet to come, a dark, silent phantom that filled Scrooge with a profound terror. The spirit pointed its bony finger, leading Scrooge through chilling scenes of the future. Who overheard businessmen discussing a cheap funeral, noting that no one would attend. He saw a group of scavengers laughing as they sold off a dead man's stolen belongings, right down to the shirt from his back. Scrooge, desperate to know who this unloved man was then shown the Cratchit family, their home now quiet and somber. Tiny Tim's small crutch rested in a corner by the fireplace, and the family was mourning his loss. Finally, the spirit led Scrooge to a lonely, neglected churchyard and pointed to a single tombstone. Trembling, Scrooge brushed away the snow and read the name engraved upon it. Ebenezer Scrooge. He fell to his knees, crying out in despair. He understood now. This was the miserable end he had forged for himself. "Spirit," he cried, "assure me that I yet may change these shadows you have shown me by an altered life." Free, he promised to honor Christmas in his heart and keep it all the year. He vowed to live in the past, the present, and the future, and to learn the lessons they taught. He awoke in his own bed. It was Christmas morning. The spirits had done it all in one night. Overjoyed and giddy, Scrooge was a changed man. He laughed, a sound he hadn't made in years. Screw. He threw open his window and shouted a Merry Christmas to a boy in the street, paying him handsomely to buy the biggest prize turkey in the butcheress shop and deliver it to the Cratchit family. He anonymously donated a huge sum of money to the gentleman he had spurned the day before. He even went to his nephew Fred's dinner party, where he was welcomed with open arms. The next morning, when Bob Cratchit arrived late to work, bracing for a scolding, Scrooge instead raised his salary and promised to help his struggling family. From that day on, Ebenezer Scrooge became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew. He became a second father to Tiny Tim, who, thanks to Scrooge's help, did not die. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.